Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Premier League predictions for game week, match week 8, which is this upcoming weekend. Halloween weekend, spooky. I've got the red and black Halloween theme. Not really, I just had the Huddersfield shirt on. Huddersfield fan, makes sense. But first, before we get into it, the nitty gritty stuff, it's time for a new section we're going to do on this series called Beer of the Week. Now, this week's beer is a Singer Thai beer. I have never ever had this, never tried it in my life before. I have no idea where we got it from. Literally, it was just in the fridge. I was like, nab that, thank you very much. So yeah, see how it goes. You can never have one, you've got to make sure. First one's just to make sure it's not poisonous. It's quite nice, very rich. I think it's a Thai beer. It'd be quite good with some Thai food, I think. So yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And now, on to what everyone is here for, my Premier League predictions. So the kickers of this weekend, it's weird because I was looking at Super Sunday, I was like, that's not the most super of Sundays. Now, it's not bad, but we've had better Super Sundays. So the first game this weekend is Leicester versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 6 in the league, and Leicester have won the last 2, kind of coming back from a bad stint. And they're both on the same amount of points. So they both had a very similar season, and they're both coming into form now. James Maddison has finally started playing well for Leicester. So I personally believe that this is going to be a Leicester win 2-1. Let me know what you guys think down below. Agree, disagree for all of them. Like, comment, subscribe, things like that. Just let me know. Up next, we have Burnley versus Brentford. Now, what are Burnley good at? Not conceding and not scoring. What are Brentford good at? Not conceding and scoring. And I think this is going to be a very closer game than what people expect. Maxwell Cornet for Burnley's on fire. It's like nothing we've seen before at Burnley. He's quick, he's rapid, and he runs at people, which is not what you get from Burnley. But that being said, they haven't won since last April, I believe. And that's a long time to go out a win. I remember Burnley when they would win 1-0, or you'd be 1-1 and they'd win 2-1 and they'd sneak a goal. Someone, Chris Wood, pouncing header or something in. Or Ashley Barnes. But that being said, Brentford have not lost at home this season. So for me, personally, Brentford have not lost away this season. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think that result probably suits both of them as well. It's another point for them both and keeps them both away from the drop zone. Liverpool versus Brighton. Now, Liverpool are one of 3 teams with Man City and Chelsea that are taking this league by storm. And I expect that to continue against Brighton. I'm going to go for 3-1 because I do think Liverpool probably will have it in the first half, much like Man City did against Brighton last week. And Brighton will build into the game and they'll understand their tactics and things. So I am going to go for a Liverpool win 3-1 versus Brighton. Up next, we have Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. Now, I think this is clear cut. Palace did trouble Arsenal, and Vieira has got them playing very, very good football, I must admit. And it's a young team, and I think they're only going to get better. Palace, however, I think once again, Man City are one of the 3 teams that I expect to really push for the title. So I am going to go for Manchester City 3, Crystal Palace 0. Up next is the final of the 3 teams, funnily enough, in Chelsea, and they're playing Newcastle. Kind of like a oil versus oligarch money battle, derby, rivalry. So yeah, for me, I think Chelsea are going to win this. I think Newcastle are really struggling and are going to struggle until January, where they can spend some of that oil money on players that they want. Obviously, they're having a sponsorship problem at the minute with the Premier League. You're trying to not allow them sponsors, which is all crazy. But for me, I think that this is going to be a Chelsea 3-0 win, and I expect to see Mason Mount on the score sheet after his hat-trick last week. Up next, we have Watford versus Southampton. Now, from what I've seen the past 2 weeks, Watford have conceded 5 and then scored 5. Josh King got a hat-trick against his old club. But the thing is, could that just be he's against his old club, he's desperate for the win? They never even give him a single minute of football in his 6 months that he spent there, and it was a vengeful Josh King. It could well be, but also we have seen Josh King. He does like to score a goal in the Premier League, especially that fantastic season he had with Bournemouth. So for me, I am going to go for Watford 1, Southampton 1. Then we have Tottenham versus Manchester United in the El Sacchio derby. The game where everyone thinks whoever loses, their manager will get sacked, except for Man U, who will keep Ole, because of course they'll keep Ole, because they don't want to sack him. So I think Tottenham have won 4 of the last 5 games at home, which is very impressive, but they're so bad when they're not playing at home. And Man U are terrible. However, Rafa Varane is back, and if Ollie's rushed him, they could be knackered, because we've seen what's happened with Harry Maguire since he's come back from injury prematurely. So for me, I am going to go for Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. I think it'll be a draw, and I think Ollie will get sacked next week when they get absolutely pummeled by Manchester City. Now on to Sunday fixtures. Halloween is Sunday, I believe, and this is the Halloween fixture. So will there be any spooky or scary results? And the first game is Norwich versus Leeds, a relegation derby. Leeds desperate for the 3 points, Norwich dreadful. Norwich struggling to score. I think they've scored twice this season. I expect that to continue. Leeds 1-0. That's all there really is to say about that one. Then we have Villa versus West Ham. West Ham have been fantastic this season, very much continuing their form from last season, and I expect that West Ham will win this game 2-1 against Aston Villa. And last but not least, we have Wolves versus Everton. Wolves are sort of coming into the stride now, when Everton lost last week 5-2 to Watford. So that'll be very interesting to see, is that just a slip, or is that a consistent thing and now Everton are going to drop points with Benitez. However, for me, I do think Everton and Benitez are going to have too much, and Benitez is going to fix that problem and smooth it out. So I think Everton are going to win this game 2-1. Thank you very much. Please let me know who you think is going to win and lose down below, who you'd like to win, who your team is, who they're playing this weekend, and I'll catch you next time.